Sorry about that. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another ROUTEMASTER episode. Yeah, we're doing pack 2 at stage 16. Yeah, and we've got some massive parts on this one, and I'm not envisaging it being too long. I think it'll probably be about 20 minutes, half an hour or something like that. Yeah, and as you know, I do everything in real time for you. This is live today, so hello if you're watching live, and if you're watching later on, hello too. Thanks for joining. So right, I'm going to crack on if I can, because I've got quite a bit to do today, and we'll get into the build. So let's have a look at comments. We've got a couple of comments, and the first comment is Mary Oglesby. So that's my mum. Hello everybody, and hope you're all well. Hello ma'am. Yeah, we're not too bad, thank you. Yeah, we're okay. Just trying to catch up a bit. I've got quite a few issues to do actually, ma'am. So yeah, I want to try and get caught up before Christmas, but yeah, it's going to be difficult to do, but I'm trying hard. Right, and then we've got my lovely wife, Crafty Chris. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Agora ROUTEMASTER. Yeah, it's another issue of Agora ROUTEMASTER, pack 2, stage 16. So yeah, and so hope you're all right, darling. And then we've got come on, there we go. We've got Horlicks. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon to you, Horlicks, and welcome and thank you for joining us. Yeah, as I said, I've got a few issues to do and catch up on, really. And I'm going to let you into a little secret. We've got another pack coming, so I've got to hurry up, haven't I? So, and that'll be something very, very special, that pack. So, yeah, keep watching my channel for an update. I'm hoping to have an update tomorrow, actually. I'm going to do another ROUTEMASTER show later on tonight at 9 p.m. And I'm hoping for an update. I'm going to do an update on my channel generally tomorrow during the day. And then tomorrow night I'll be on with the Northern Model Builders at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So, yeah, it's all go. It's all go indeed. So, here we go. More face, please, Let's roll. So let's get into this build and see if I can change my camera. Come on, camera. Hurry up now. Yeah, Super Saturday. Come on, camera. There we are. So this is the parts we're going to be using today. And as you can see, they are ginormous. So this is Build the Classic ROUTEMASTER, pack 2 and stage 16. And in this stage, we're going to be fitting the rear chassis frame. The rear chassis fits between the rear wheels, providing the frame to support the rear axle and the rear suspension arms that have already been assembled. So we're going to need some issues that we've done before, some stages that we've done before, and we're going to be putting them all together on this chassis. So, and this is the stage, ladies and gentlemen, where this actually starts and grows and gets very heavy. I must say at this stage that this is steel, and it is very, very heavy. So, and if you can think back to the other stages that we've done, most of them have been steel too. So we put all this lot together, and then I might weigh it for later on, because later on tonight at 9 we'll be doing some more chassis work. So I may weigh it in between and let you know what it weighs. So because it's all very well and good me saying, well, it's metal and you can, tap it, to sounds like metal, but to actually gather how big it is and how much it weighs, it's difficult to show you on camera. But yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at, first of all, the instructions. And you can download these instructions from the download center, which is on the Agora Models website. So we're in pack 2 and we're on stage 16. So, and things are going to motor along now from now on because we're soon coming to the end of pack 2. So, yeah. Let's go for it then, shall we? Let me Let me remove that from screen and we'll get into the build. Just check that there's no more chat. There's Crafty Chris saying, hi, Alex. And then I think there's Holic saying, hi, Crafty Chris. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I think she's a bit better today, thank goodness. So, but she'll tell you how she feels. All right. If you're interested in purchasing this model, of course, I'll say this now. And then you've got, if you just look down here, you've got a ticker tape running with the Agora Models website. So agoramodels.com. If you type that into your Google, you'll come up with Agora Models, and you'll be able to see this very model and lots of other models that you could purchase from their website. And yeah, get it purchased and build along with me, and you'd be quite welcome. And you know, along with that, we've got a Facebook group. We've got Facebook group and lots of other media connected to Agora Models too. So yeah, and there's going to be lots of help and advice on there too. So yeah, build along with us, why not? So right, let's get cracking, shall we? So the parts supplied are 16A, which is this ginormous piece of metal, so the chassis. And we've got 16B, which is the 2 springs, and these are the 2 suspension springs, and they're quite tough actually to compress. So yeah, they're quite tough to compress. And then we've got 16C, which is the limiting pads, and these are these here, and these are made of metal too. And the significance of these will be shown to you a bit later on, because we'll be using all these parts. And then we've got 4 lots of screws. We've got some OM screws, which are these with washers on the top of them. So washers screws. So that's OM. We've got LM screws, and we've got they're very similar to the OMs, apart from they're a lot thinner. So, and then we've got some FM screws, the good old ROUTEMASTER FM screws. Let's have a look at them. There's an FM screw on the end of my screwdriver. So I don't want to jump off now. So there, and then we've got some GM screws as well. Some good old GM screws. And what you've noticed from them is that all these screws end in M. And when a screw ends in M, what is it? It needs some oil to put it in with. It doesn't always need oil, but I use it. It's a personal preference. So, and it just makes the job go easier, and saves any de-threading or anything like that. You'll also need possibly one of these as well, which is a fine pointed file, just for removing any paint block in any of the holes or anything. So you can just pop your fine pointed file in there and just give it a little twizzle into the holes that you put in the screws. So yeah, very handy indeed. Don't put it in and try and bend it over, because you'll snap the end off. Just pop it in the hole, give it a little twizzle, and Bob's your uncle. You should end up with the paint block coming out the hole quite easily. So right, let me just go back to chat and then we'll get on to building, shall we? So in the chat, we've got David Bassett. Hi, Dave, and everyone watching. We'll catch up later, as I'm just off for a walk with Pepsi. Ding, ding. Yeah, I'll give you one of them. There you go, David. Thank you ever so much for joining. And yeah, catch up by all means by any time you like. It's not a problem. And yeah, thank you ever so much for your comments earlier as well. I did read them. So, and yeah, David is a bus enthusiast like-minded to me. He loves the ROUTEMASTER buses and the London country buses especially. So yeah, all well and good. Right, let's get on then. So what's on step 1? Step 1 then is take the chassis frame at 16A and suspension springs 16B times 2, plus the parts assembled in issue 15. And 15A and 15B, place each of the springs, 16B, in the sockets in the frame, lower the shock absorber columns 15B through the springs and into the sockets in the chassis frame. And then it says there's a little red circle in the instructions, and it says you may find the assembly easier to manage if you use a little masking tape to fix the suspension arms 15A to the end of the chassis frame. This will hold part 15A in place until it is fixed in step 2. Okay, and I'm gathering in step 2 we do actually screw this together. So this is what we made in 15A, which is the rear cross member with the suspension arms on. So we've got 1 spring and we pop it in that hole there, 2 springs and we pop it in that hole there. Okay, and this is where you're going to need something under this to actually work on it. I'm just looking around now to see if I've actually got something I can place under it. Yeah, I've got it. I've got the old sellotape. It's Christmas after all, so let's have a look and see what we can do here. This bar actually goes only one way, and it goes with these lugs facing towards the back. Okay, so towards the back, the rear of the chassis. And them 2 small plates that I showed you earlier, we're going to be using them as well. So we slot these shanks over the springs like so, and then you should be able to then compress, I do believe, the spring itself. Yeah, you can when it goes through the hole in the back. So there we are, and we should be able to, yes we can, there is the suspension working. So but we do need 2 screws, one underneath there and one underneath this side, to fasten it together. So let's have a look in step 2 then. Step 2 is turn the assembly over and check that the ends of the shock absorber columns are correctly located so they pass through the ends of the raised sockets of the chassis frame. Fix the parts 15B in place with a OM screw in each. Okay, so I'll just get an OM screw loaded up onto my screwdriver, and I'll pop some a drop of oil on the end. Oh, it ain't going to hold on. I don't like the old OM screws, and that's probably because they're a bit heavier with them washers on. So yeah, I'm hoping that it'll stay on there. Magnetism isn't very good on my screwdriver, but never mind. So then it's a case of holding that in position, turning it over, and then trying to get a screw in where it's popping through there on each side. So I'm doing this left-handed. Wish I was ambidextrous, but I'm not. So let's see if we can just get this screw started. Maybe we can before I remove my fingers and go for it tightening down. So I'm not going to tighten it all the way in because I need a little bit of movement, but I'm going to tighten it some way in. Okay, so that'll do for now, and then I'm going to go to the other side and remove that tape. We don't need that anymore. I've actually got a block of like foam, some blue foam, that extruded foam that I use as a prop block, and I'll be showing you that a bit later on because we'll be needing something to prop this up with. Okay, so we're going for the second screw on the other side in nicely, yeah, and then I'm going to then tighten them both up. So notice I'm using the Agora screwdriver for this because it's champion. Yeah, I love it. But for the tightening up, we may need a slightly different screwdriver. So they're going in really nicely to the tops of the shock absorbers, and see if you can get them all the way in, which will be quite a job because they are quite tough for them screws to go in there. But we'll see what we can do. Yeah, they're going in nicely. Use your desk as purchase. Yeah, frame, don't try and do it in your hand all the time because you do need a bit of strength to get them in. So they're in. Wow, they're in. So, and you can see that does actually press up and down when you press it. So that's your rear suspension. Yeah. So right, let's turn the page and we'll go over to step 3. And step 3 says turn the assembly over again, identify the position circled for the limiting pads at 16C. Position the part 16C on the chassis frame at 16A as shown in the insets below. Fix each pad in place with an FM screw. Okay. So I'm going to pick up a limiting pad. That's one of these little square ones. And I'm going to look on the instructions for the orientation of the parts. So this side one here, this one wants to go this way, so the hull's towards me. I've got a locating pin as well, so you can pop the locating pin in. And then we're, according to the instructions, we're picking up a FM screw. Yes, an FM screw. So I've got some little screw pot. And it's just out of camera shot at the moment, but there you are, Horlicks. My little screw pot. I do use these things, you know. So, yeah, eventually I do. So then we've got an FM screw. And it's going to go in there into the limiting pad. And what that does, it just limits the suspension from coming too far out. So that's why they call it a limiting pad. So once these are in, of course, the suspension can't get any further out than the limiting pad, which you can't. So there you are. So I'm not sure what it's like on the real thing, actually. I'm not taking any notice of the real ROUTEMASTER, the way the suspension does limit, but I'm pretty sure it's a little bit different to this. So there we are. So and the next one then is another FM screw, and to get the other side one in, the limiting pad. Pick up the limiting pad and look for the other side, and I do believe again that pops in there, and the hole nearest to me is the one that we'll be using with an FM screw. So that's if I've read the instructions correctly. So yeah, and from memory, I believe that this does go like this. So the good old FM screws. Yeah, we're going to be using a lot of the FM screws on this build. And then there's a few other screws that we're going to be using as well. That's going to be quite synonymous with this build. So yeah, I'm doing an afternoon stream on this one, and then later on at 9 o'clock tonight I'm doing another stream as well. And I thought about having a catch-up on my channel, like an update tomorrow and before the Northern Model Builders show. So that's what I was thinking about doing tomorrow. So there we are. That's in there, and difficult to show you in this camera. I think you'll see that that's going down when I'm pressing it on them springs. So that's your suspension. So right, I just want to check these screws as well, make sure them are nice and tight. Yeah, that's one, and yeah, that's two. So yeah, jolly good. Right, step 4. Now step 4 is fitting this bar here. Yes it is, yeah. Step 4 is fitting this bar here. So we're going to need this sliding away for the moment, and then our suspension and brake and back axle unit bringing into play, because we're going to be fitting this. Let me get this the right way around, shall I? It's confusing me at the moment, but yeah, and that's because it's that way on. So turn it so the orientation is the same, which is that away, and this goes onto that bit on the axle, just like that, slides on, and then I think you'll find that an LM screw fits in the end of there. So we'll pick up an LM screw, if I can pick it up in this screwdriver. How come I'm shaking again, guys? I don't know. I'm a camera shy, really. I don't know. Yeah, well, maybe it's just the fact that I'm just itching to get it done with excitement, something like that, maybe. Or I'm excited that I'm actually doing this build again, because you know, I initially thought that I'd never do this build again, as you do. So, but yeah, I'm just very lucky, actually, and fortunate, and obviously I want to share it with you guys that's watching, or if anybody else is actually out there buying buying this lovely part works from Agora Models. So, and I thought, well, it's worthwhile just doing, showing what we're up to, and I think what's going to be hopefully more popular is the modded build that we're going to be doing as well. So yeah, we've got that on there now, and that's in the position they want us to put it in. So what's going to happen now, guys? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen now. We're on step 5. And step 5, and this is the big one. So we'll just move that out the way again. Step 5 is we move the chassis back into play. And I'm just going to let my camera catch up a minute, so because I don't want it blurry. And it gave me a chance to have a drink as well, so that's my excuse. So right, step 5, carefully noting the orientation, offer up the suspension of the rear axle assembly from step 4 to the chassis assembly from step 3. Check the positions of the ends of the suspension arms and against the chassis as indicated by the dotted lines, and the hinges 13C and 12C on the other end of each of the suspension arms should fit against the other end of the chassis red dotted lines. And that basically means that we're looking at this on the instructions. And if you remember from the last set of instructions, it did tell you that the dotted lines were to tell you where the parts actually go to. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the suspension arm, and I'm going to try and place it on the model. And I think I've got it the wrong way around. So there we are. We're going to turn it the right way around, and we're going to start and try and place this on the model where hopefully things will line up. So I do believe that these two bits here fit into this back rod. So let's try them first. Fitting into the back rod, and then the front part, let me turn it around a little bit. So the front part here, these fit onto that part of the chassis, and there is one of these that has a locating peg, and I do believe it's this one. It could be, yeah, it could be that one. Only one of these has a locating pin. So, and then you've got your chassis into the suspension unit here and here. So, and then consequently you've got fastenings at the front end. Let me move that back into camera, into the front end there, each side of the chassis, and each side of the chassis there. So there's 2 on each side there, and then there's one single one just at the back here. I don't believe you can see it from there, but I'll move it up. Yeah, you can see 2 holes there. There's one there and one there, so you pop screws in there. And then this drop arm is located on the chassis, and you've just got to manipulate it a little for it to sit properly in the locating holes and line up to the holes which I've just done there. So what does it tell us to screw in first? Well, let's have a look. So step 6 then is the ends of the suspension arms circled fit against the suspension arm. When the ends are incorrectly located, fix each in place with an FM screw. Okay, so on this end then we've got to put FM screws. So let's go for the FM screws then. So yeah, it's going to be so good to get this together, and it's going to be a wonderful bit of kit is this. So, and if you've done this before, you'll know exactly where I'm coming from. The build quality is absolutely fantastic. The weight of it is brilliant, and eye-watering when you pick the whole thing up, I can tell you. So, and the quality of the model when it's built is second to none. It really is. There is not a ROUTEMASTER model like this anywhere on the market. A few people have said to me, well, I've got the the 1/24 scale one, you know, and that's pretty good. Well, yes, it's pretty good, but this is even better. Even better. Yeah, believe me, it's much better is this build, and obviously it's much bigger as well. So yeah, so it really is a lovely, striking model to work with. Okay, so let's have a look. And we need step 7, I believe. And step 7 is that we've got to put the trailing arm base. It should be positioned on the flat section of the back of the rear chassis frame, circled above, and should screw into part 14D. Screw in place with 2 FM screws. So here we are. Look, there's one there and one there. I may just have to make sure that it's located, because there is a locating pin in there. Yes, it's located. So 2 FM screws again. One. Let's see if we can put a little bit of oil on it. So let's go for the easiest one first. Why not? So yeah, I think I've got that located. And then another one. Come on. And in that hole there. I don't want to get my head in the way of the camera, so I'm trying to look back at my computer screen so that cumbersome my head is not in the way or any other part of my body. So you just want to see what I'm doing. You don't want to see bits of me floating around the screen, do you? There we are. So that's that one. And so step 7, I believe now. Step 7 we've done. That's that one. Step 8 then. And step 8 is the suspension hinges, 12C and 13C, are fitted to the front end of the rear chassis. Frame 16C. Note that a part 13C has a locating peg inset top right, and but 12C does not. It does not. So screw the parts in place using 2 GM screws, 1 for each of the hinges. So what we've got to do here now then is turn this around so it's close to us like this, and we've got to use 4 GM screws. So there's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and that's the front end of the chassis. Bearing in mind that behind one of these pads, I believe it's this one, there is a locating pin which is in there, so always check that your locating pin's in. And we've got to screw them in with GM screws, and we've got our pot and our oil ready. So I'm going to go for this one nearest to me first, and then have a go at screwing that in. Just checking that they are GM screws. Yes, they are. Yeah. And yeah, it's very clever as well how this has been put together. Hachette and Transport for London, who originally sent the license for this and made this, must have worked very hard indeed on making this wonderful model for us to build. So yeah, all your computer, is it CAD designs and such like, yeah, were all used in this build. And all the proper measurements. A lot of the measurements came off the real buses, in fact. Yeah. So, right, and another one. And then I'll just whip around them and tighten them up while we're talking. Come on, get in there. Oops. Don't want to go in there, don't this one. Come on. It's saying, no, please don't put me in there. Come on, get in there. Let's use a shorter screwdriver. There we are. So, yeah. Resistance is futile. It is indeed. Yeah. So that one and this one again. Just make sure they're nice and tightly. So, and I will give it a final tighten after the stream's over. which obviously gives you an idea of what's involved. And again, the black screws, if you want to paint them over so that they are silver, so that they're not as obtrusive as what they may appear, you can use the Humbrol silver paint, the silver chassis paint from Humbrol, and that's 27002. Yeah, 27002, the Humbrol chassis paint. Yeah, so that's the one I use. So, and then you can touch up all the black screws once you've tightened them all in, if you wish. So let's put that on. Yep, so that's on nice and tight, and that's this issue finished and done. The rear chassis frame is now attached to the rear axle and the suspension arms, and the suspension arms bar and trailing arm are also in place. The image on the left, which is here, shows the view from above with the suspension arms beneath and the rear chassis frame. So what I'm going to do is just turn this over and then show you exactly what we've got in this picture at the bottom. So picture at the bottom is that is the finished article of what we've just done, and there it is in real life. Okay, and as promised, I will try and weigh this for later on, but yeah, I haven't got my ruler. Oh, yes, I have. Yes, I have. So let's have a quick roll, shall we? So this is like 10 inches long so far. So yeah, just short of 10 inches long so far. So or 26 centimeters. Yeah, and it's going to be 7.5 inches wide, or 19 centimeters wide. So yeah, so that's your measurements. But obviously you can tell from there that, you know, goodness me, it's so heavy. Right, I'm just going to change my camera again, and then we'll come and have a look at chat, and we'll see what we can do with chat. So I've changed the ticker tape as well. So, and that's all the relevant builds that we're doing at the moment, and the relevant Facebook groups that we belong to, and that you can join to go along with the relevant builds that both me and my wife and my colleagues on the Northern Model Builders are building. So, and to add to that, we're actually doing the Titanic as well when that comes out. So, and that will be added to my ticker tape a bit later on. So, right, let's go change camera, and I can see you all then. I'm going to need a slap of my tea, I think, because I'm absolutely dry. So, not that I haven't enjoyed talking to you guys, because I have. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. So, right, let's pop on here. Right, okay, so where was we? Goodness me, we've got quite a bit in the chat. So we got up to Dave Bassett, didn't we? So we've got Dano's Universe. Hello, everyone. Hello, Dano. Thanks for joining us. We've got Jay's channel. Ding, ding, laughing out loud. Good luck with your build, Dave. Thank you very much. You can have one of them, Jason. So, and you lot will be bad medicine for me before I finish, because you'll all go ding, ding, and expect a ding, ding, won't you? And before much longer, we'll be ding, 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 ding. So Dave Mac Bill says good afternoon, Dave, and everyone, good afternoon. And Crafty Chris says hi, Jane, Dave Mac. And then Dave Mac says hi, Crafty Chris, hope you're feeling a lot better today. And Jay's channel says Crafty Chris, hiya, hope you're feeling better today. And Crafty Chris says, yeah, I feel okay at the moment, but did yesterday, and then last night was bad as ever. Yeah, it was. It's like it when it got cold again during the night, wasn't it? So Horlick says, I remember really enjoyed this issue. I love it when you bring two larger parts together to make one. Yeah, well, keep watching for 9 o'clock tonight, because I'm pretty sure that we'll be bringing another large part to this part as well, so which makes it even bigger and even heavier. And yes, and that's because we're moving along quickly with this build. So Jay's channel says this issue we start to grow the ROUTEMASTER and then you realize how big it's going to be. Yes, yeah, you do. So then my mum says good show, thumbs up. Thank you for that, ma'am. Yeah, much appreciated. And Holic says ding ding, and again ding ding. Nice try. And again ding ding. So, and there's Horlicks with his laughing face. Yeah, I'm not doing it again. Oh, go on then. There you go. Right. Okay. So you always end up with a laugh out of me, that's for sure. And yeah, if we can't laugh, there's something wrong, isn't there, in this day and age? And goodness me, there's a lot to cry about in this age that we don't want to think about at all. So yeah. So anyway, I think that's it of this stage. So we're on to stage 17 tonight. Yeah, 17 already. There's 138 stages, 120 stages. I think there is in this one, all in. So yeah, stage 17 later on tonight at 9 p.m. There is other YouTubers that's going ahead, so watch them. If the people in the chat here have a YouTube channel, please join their channels too, and like their videos. And it's important that what comes around goes around, and you know, if we can share the love, share the hobby, that's all very important. So Alex says brilliant, great stream, please all a thumbs up and catch you next time. Thank you for that, Alex, much appreciated. And thank you for everybody else that's watched, and hope you have a brilliant rest of the Saturday. And if you want to catch up with me tonight at 9 p.m, please come along and do so. If not, I'll be on tomorrow night at 8 with the Northern Model Builders, and I'm hoping to do a catch up tomorrow afternoon of my channel in general, the DS Models and Vintage channel in general tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, there's plenty to watch, all being well. So okay, with that, it's a goodbye from me. Take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.